We have to fight to save existing jobs under threat. Workers and their families deserve no less. Economic recovery demands no less, and jobs can be saved. The jobs on the line at SR Technics can be saved. Jobs in construction and retail can be saved. Waterford Crystal can and must have a future. These and other vulnerable jobs will be lost, though, if the current lacklustre approach by government continues. And Sinn Féin would not meekly accept the ongoing hemorrhage of skills and global brands from our country. Friends, the government needs to get its act together. Recovery will not be possible unless we sort out the banks. This requires forthright, decisive actions, so let me spell out clearly what needs to happen. A clear out of the higher echelons of bankers, all of them. And friends, this means sacking the bankers, not retirement with golden handshakes. Investigations of Anglo-Irish and other banking institutions with cases referred to the DPP for prosecution. Corrupt bankers must face jail. Yeah. The Golden Circle involved in dubious investment at Anglo-Irish must be named and shamed. They are not heroes. There was no patriotism in their actions. Fianna Fáil and the Greens must stop protecting the Anglo Circle. And to the backslapping clique, to Ulick McAvady and his friends Mary Harney and Charlie McCreevy, we say, the taxpayer owns this bank. The taxpayer is now in charge. The taxpayer will not be left in the dark. Government legalistic arguments simply won't cut it. We demand answers. Mispaid bonuses and overblown salaries must be retrieved, and there has to be a cap on salaries of banking executives and an immediate abolition of their bonuses. But above all, we need to know the extent of the bank's bad debts. The time for speculation as to the state of the bank's balance sheets is over. We need to have the truth. An independent inspector must, on behalf of the taxpayer, establish their liabilities. We need new, robust financial regulation. And these actions are required immediately if we are to restore domestic and international confidence in financial institutions. The banks are now reliant on taxpayers' money. The banks must now be forced to impose a moratorium on house repossessions for a minimum of 2 years. Banks must support struggling mortgage holders by rescheduling payments and allowing movement from fixed to variable rates without financial penalties. Banks must be obliged to make loans available to small businesses, because viable businesses and jobs will be lost if the credit drought is not resolved quickly. And we cannot allow enterprise and workers to suffer at the hands of self-centred and self-seeking banking practices. The banks must pay back the taxpayers' money while working in the people's interest. And the need for a state bank, long advocated by Sinn Féin, is now undeniable. Then we must deal with the shortfall in public finances. Savings must and can be made in a way that is equitable and does not injure our long-term goal of sustainable economy. Sinn Féin set out proposals for raising the $2 billion which the government is now implementing through totally unfair cuts. We argued that the government should immediately increase the flat rate levy on those earning more than $100,000 a year. make discretionary tax relief available only at the standard rate, and remove the PRSI ceiling. And yes, these proposals involve some pain, but they are equitable and they are fair. We also called for the end to the misuse of taxpayers' money in supporting private health care and the outrageous pay packages of CEOs of public bodies. This state will have to borrow over the next years. This is the right thing, and this is the necessary thing to do. But let's be clear that borrowing must be used for smart, strategic investment. The days of shoddy management, sloppy costings and project overruns are over. All of this must happen, but the establishment of a fair and progressive taxation system is at the core of sustainable public finance. Sinn Féin has long demanded reform. The ending of tax shelters and tax exile status, the ending of the scandal where middle-income workers are taxed at the same rate as those earning hundreds of thousands of euros. We are calling for the creation of a third tax rate for these high earners. Never was tax reform more urgent than now. Never was it more necessary for the rich to pay their share. We need to regain our competitiveness. The cost of doing business in Ireland is prohibitive. Misguided government policy has driven energy costs higher here than anywhere else in Europe, and has resulted in a telecommunications infrastructure that is third-rate. Government must act now to address these issues. Competitiveness will not be secured on the back of cheap, insecure labour. Families on the breadline is not the answer to our problems. Reductions in the minimum wage or running down protections for workers is not the solution, and the government needs to wake up to this fact. Investment in skills and education will be the cornerstone of realising our potential, and the short-sighted cuts in education at all levels must be reversed, because there will be no knowledge economy, no smart economy, if we allow government to vandalise our education system. This is the time to build the All-Ireland economy. Partition is costing Ireland hundreds of millions each year. The simple fact is we can't afford the border. Currency differentials and VAT rate differentials hurt business, hurt the consumer, hurt people. We need economies of scale, and we need joined-up thinking.